One interesting question I ask is, you see lots of ships and bottles all over the place, but why don't you see cars and bottles, since that's what most people drive nowadays? Nobody really has a good answer to that question, but I think the answer is market inefficiencies. This gift guide this year, 2024, is going to be making a car in a bottle. And if you've seen my gift guides in the past, I like to make my gifts a little more personal. So what we're going to do this year is, pick one or more friends and make a car in a bottle, but include a picture of the friend in it and have the car be either the same as the car that your friend currently drives, a car that your friend used to drive, or a car that looks a lot like the car that they currently drive or used to drive. What you're going to need to do this project or this gift is, first of all, you want a picture of your friend. And so you want the picture of the friend to fit in the bottle. What I'm doing is I'm printing the front, and then I took the same picture and flipped it on its vertical axis. And I'm going to glue these two together, and then you'll have two fronts, which is not historically accurate, but you could have the bottle this way or this way. And either way, you'd be able to see the model's face. And this is Jay. I don't know if I said that or not. You'll need some Scotch tape to tape the two together. Interesting story, everybody calls it Scotch tape, but really that's the brand name for it. Sort of like, Kleenex is facial tissue and aglets are the things on the tips of your shoestrings. The real name for, the real name for Scotch tape is actually matte finish magic tape. You need a pair of scissors, a plug-in laminator. You'll need those lamination sheets, and I know I used to have some, but I cannot find them. So what I was going to do is, I have these things for baseball cards, and I think I could put the picture in there and use that and laminate it. You need a hot glue gun. Interesting story about this. You may notice this is different than the glue gun I've used in past videos. Turns out I assumed a glue gun has a automatic shutoff on it, so I used my glue gun about 6 months ago to glue the bottom of my shoes were falling off, so I glued that on and I just left it plug in. But turns out it doesn't have an auto shut off. It burned out. I found that out a week ago as I was sort of gathering materials to do this video. But fortunately, I saw my neighbor outside getting her mail. She has terminal cancer, but I asked her if she had a glue gun, and she said yeah. And I said, do you really think you'll ever use it again? And she said, probably not. And she lent it to me. She also gave me a shitload of glue, pretty much a lifetime supply of glue, so I should be set. Actually, it's probably technically 2 lifetime supplies of glue. Safety glasses, and then finally, get your old Matchbox cars or Hot Wheels from when you were a kid. See if you have a car that looks like what your friend has. So Jay has, I believe, a 2008 Honda Fit. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that's sort of the Honda small economy hatchback or whatever. It's sort of the equivalent of a Ford Escort or a Chevy Chevette or something like that. No way I have one of those in this, because these are all from when I was a kid. These are probably 70s and 80s cars or whatever. So I'll just look through and see if I have something that looks sort of like a Honda Fit. Yep, there's something that looks like a little blue hatchback. There we go. Looks like I think that's a LeCar. To start, we'll cut out the pictures of Jay and tape them together. There's something not right with these scissors. We get our food grade scissors. So there's a picture of Jay and a 180J, and you just put them together like that. You have a face on both sides. I guess the next thing to do is to plug in your laminator to get that warmed up. And then you get your sheet of laminator, or laminate sheet or whatever. Trim it out of this sheet here. All right, as we wait for that to warm up, is there anything else I can do? I can clear that out of the way. And that, and that. Here it comes. That didn't do anything. Well, there we go. It's smoking. That's a good sign. Oh, there's a light that says when it's ready. All right. The other option is to use some. The other option is to use some packing tape. There you go. While we're here, I'm going to get the hot glue gun plugged in, get that warmed up, and then I should have something to set it on. Warm up in there. What I'm going to do, since I don't think the hot glue gun will reach in there, I'm going to just put a bunch of glue on each of these tires and then set it in there like that. Once I get the car in there, I'll just put a small piece of tape in there to kind of get Jay in the right place. Now some people might say, well, why do you need to put Jay in there? Can't you just put him on the outside? Because then you don't have to worry about him, you know, trying to glue him down or whatever. But then why not just put the car on the outside too? The whole point is to have it be in the bottle. Okay. Put a little piece of tape on here to place Jay in the right spot. So I'm just going to wait for that to dry. Yeah, it seems like it's pretty solid. So the next stage, since this is a car in a bottle, is to fill the bottle up with water. So we'll just go to the bathroom sink and do that. I'm gonna leave a little space at the top. If you've seen my videos before, you know I like to, you know, personalize these gifts a little bit. So I'm gonna top that off. Anyway, so I'll work on that and then we will glue the lid on. Well, unfortunately, hot glue does not form a bond with water or something, so they didn't stay in place, but kind of a situation, you're gonna deal the hand you're dealt, and we'll just proceed accordingly. So I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but what I want to do is do a nice seal of glue in here and around the top so that the water doesn't leak out. Yeah, that feels good. And I would just let it sit for a minute or two. Actually, I might just leave it sit overnight and let that glue set up real nice. All right, we'll check back in tomorrow after I let this sit overnight. It's been a couple days. I waited, well, the next morning, basically the one that I did a couple days ago leaked. I don't know, the lid wasn't, maybe there weren't enough screws on the lid. So I emptied it out. I put it in this jar that has more screws on the lid and then glued it. In the process of doing that, I broke the glue gun. The glue wasn't coming out, so I jammed a screwdriver in there and I heard some stuff break. So I was able to take it apart, pull this extra stuff out, and I can still make it work if I jam something in there. But anyway, but that's fine. I was worried my neighbor was going to ask for it back, but I just heard today that she's going to hospice tomorrow. So I was thinking I was just planning to have it, you know, just sit like that, but I thought it might be nice to put it on a wood base. So I have this. I'm going to glue the jar to the base. Nice layer of glue on here.
A real life that plays out in real time. Slow motion, slow motion. I have finally hit the ocean floor.